Hello, and welcome to my Bloodborne playthrough. I'm joined by my friend Dylan, and we will be
Hello.
walking you through my efficient run of Bloodborne. This particular playthrough, Dylan, my plan is to just be effective. I'm going to use the tools that I think are effective and work well, and this is, again, my opinion. You know, other people can have different opinions. There are plenty of effective methods, and I'm going to use noob-friendly weapons.
You need only unravel its mystery.
And I'm going to shut up here while this guy has a cutscene.
But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
All right, we can talk again.
Indeed.
So, character creator here. I've pre-made a character, and we're gonna cut through there. But yeah, like I said, an effective playthrough. And thank you for joining me and doing the commentary. What do you think of the character's name?
I mean, all I can say is you better shake off that damage. Shake it off. Shake it off.
So one of the effective tools I will be using in the Hunter's Toolkit is I don't know the word for the attack, but the parry riposte. I can't remember it. The visceral attack. That's what it is. I will be using it a lot, especially early game, because the damage early game isn't that great on mobs, especially with the choice of weapon I use. And we're going to be in a cutscene, I think, now. Oh, no, wait. No, we get to talk about character creation. So
Indeed.
These things, you can RP your initial starting class if you want. Waste of Skin's a good start because you can go in any direction with it. But I go with Military Vet specifically because the only stats I care about are Vitality, Endurance, Strength, and Skill. And again, I'm doing effective. Now, if you're following along and you don't want to use, you don't really care about this, and you care about the dialogue that's up there for a character that you're RPing, nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. I myself used the military vet when I started. Just because efficiency. Same as you.
Last loading screen will see this video.
Yeah. The wonders of technology.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Interesting thought, Dylan. This next cutscene we're going to see, do you think this is the dream or the whole thing?
Honestly, given the nature of how the genre that we're dealing with, it's very possible that the answer is no and yes. That it is real, but it is also the dream.
So the weapons of choice, the weapon I'm going to main is the Saw Spear. A lot of people prefer the Saw Cleaver to the Saw Spear. It's more popular in speedruns. I just prefer the active range of it. I think the transformed attack is identical to that of the Saw Cleaver, and the transformed state of it. I prefer the moveset, which I find overall more effective, minus one fight, the Amygdala fight, which we'll be showing later. And it'll look awkward because I'm actually used to using the Saw Cleaver against Amygdala or any other weapon. But here we are. Now, what we just saw is the curse of the beast potentially taking hold of the hunter here.
But now he has been selected by the messengers to have been made into a hunter of the dream.
At least that's what's implied, and we hope it's not too bad. And we wake ourselves up in Yosef's clinic. So I am going to be utilizing some speedrun strats here and there, and what I think is accessible too. I do apologize if I make something look easy that is not easy. I really do apologize for that. It's not my intention. But I will comment on if I do something that is a little more challenging and what I do to make it look so easier, what makes it easier itself. So what we're doing here is I've seen a lot of speedruns. I enjoy the speedrunning community. I enjoy that a lot. And one thing they do pretty often if they're not doing a glitch run is they'll run straight through here and open the door. And often, like most of the time, I see the werewolf run up behind them and phase through them as they're in the animation of opening the door. And I'm wanting that to happen to me. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I wanted to get the cheeky backstab. You can totally kill this werewolf if you're very patient, or if you get a cheeky backstab. And I do recommend the cheeky backstab as opposed to just wailing on him with your fist, because it takes forever to do like 4 damage with an entirely charged melee. And I died.
And one thing that I will always say is, unless you're choosing to challenge yourself, use all your tools when you're playing these games. All of them.
That is something I've learned recently in my playthroughs. Is in game, thanks to a Persona, ironically enough, to use my damn consumables.
Yeah. JRPGs give them to you for a reason.
I would definitely commit the sin, especially like in Final Fantasy, of like, oh, this potion's here. I won't use it now. What if I need it later? And then like I'd be at the final boss and I'd be like, I could use this now. But what if there's a boss after this boss? and then I would never use my items.
Yeah.
So just use them. You know, for the most part, all items are pretty much renewable. Especially as we get towards Blood-Starved Beast, the strategy I use, you can totally purchase those items and farm them if need be. Now I'm taking the cane. Like I said, I am taking the cane here. I don't recommend it as your first choice. I recommend either the axe or the saw cleaver if you're going to be maining something besides the saw spear. The axe is very, very noob friendly. You can just stand back, put it in the transform state, charge your R2, and spin to win.
Yep.
I think, yeah, we're gonna fight the wolf now. And basically, this illustrates me missing, and it also illustrates that they flinch. These monsters are very intimidating. You know, they're very rangy. They punish you for backing up. But if you get a hit in on them, keep hitting them. They flinch. They flinch like crazy. And now I think we're going to go talk to Yosefka. So I'm going to boost the dialogue here.
Yeah.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do. Now, go and good hunting.
I'm not really sure.
Are you still in need of... But I have no... Please, I can only...
I'm not really sure of the advantage of Yosefka's blood vial. You can only carry one, and I know that it heals you for a bit more, but I don't know the exact figure of it.
But I have nothing more to offer.
I think it does, if I remember correctly, and Universe will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe...
Oh.
It's okay. I can cut that out.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not really sure how much more it heals you. You can only carry one, but it heals you for a good chunk. It's kind of strange that they give it to you. I feel like it's more lore significant than actually useful. Their story significant, maybe. Oh yeah, don't pick up those bullets if you beat the werewolf. Wait till you get to the Hunter's Dream first. And there's my my blood echoes. Now, if you are new to the Souls-type games, upon death, you drop your I guess maybe experience currency might be a good word for it. You can use it to buy consumables or to buy levels. And that's in the top right corner, that 555 next to what is known as the hunter symbol. In Souls-likes and in Souls games themselves, and Bloodborne is a Souls-like, even though it's made by the Souls people. You drop your experience currency upon death. And in Bloodborne specifically, it can be picked up by the enemy. One thing I'm trying to point out here is his arm. It's exceptionally long. This guy also has the problem. Like his arms are...
his arms are down to his
especially
knees.
his left arm right there. It's exceptionally longer, and it's quite hairy.
Yeah.
And also, you'll probably notice that there is a red number below my bullet icon on the top left. That's blood bullets. If you're going to be going for parry fishing, which I totally recommend as a new player, this is the safest game to practice your parrying in, because you can do it long distance. Use your blood bullets. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Because a blood vial is worth less than 5 bullets. Let's be honest.
It's true.
It's not. I mean, it's not worth 2 bullets, but it's certainly worth 5. And we got some dialogue here.
Oh, you must be a hunter. And not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good.
That is one of probably the only nice person in town. No, that's not true. He's not the only nice person in town, but one of the very few nice people in town. I think I can count on about 3, maybe, that actual nice people in Yharnam.
What?
Jura could count as a 4th if you get his special dialogue.
Yeah.
But he's an outsider just like us, and he does that. So there's a particular type of skill I want to talk about, Dylan, and that is spacing.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the hardest thing for a new person to get a feel for. I don't think master is the right word.
Yeah.
I certainly haven't mastered it, but I do abuse the fuck out of it.
And it's smart.
So like I'm maintaining my space, I'm wanting one person to show up, and I'm using the whip's length here. I still don't recommend it as a really, I don't care what skill level you are, unless you want to use the whip / cane. I really just don't recommend it. I don't find it very effective.
And watch now, the universe is gonna be like, no, I love the cane. It's the best.
There are people that, you know, this is America, Dylan. Well, we're in America specifically. And in America, people are allowed to be wrong.
This is true.
So
I love the fact that they just give you a crowd of mobs.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, but they make them walk away, and so it's that moment of like, as different players will come to this scenario, some people will be like, dive in.
Don't do it. All right. You know, you can if you want to practice your parrying on that enemy that appears a total of, I want to say, 7 times in the game.
Yeah.
There are 7 specific versions of him. Getting good at fighting him is convenient, nice, it's good practice, but I don't really think they're applicable or comparable to other enemies in the game. Even the Cthulhu version of him in the DLC.
Yeah, with the tentacles. We should call them the hentai hunters, I guess you could call them.
God. Sure, we'll go with that. So
you heard it here, folks.
I think I'm about to use. I think I'm about to use the Yosefka Blood Vial. Now here's an example of people being dicks. Nobody's really nice to you. We're gonna do our best to not talk over NPCs, but unfortunately in this video we can't really hear the game because the recording will pick up us hearing it. And I have to figure out another solution for that. But in the meantime, so if we do talk over NPC dialogue, I'm really sorry. We're not doing it on purpose. Trying to show off some stuff. But yeah, I'm going to make a secondary visit to Yosefka, and I do believe I have to save quit to get the special dialogue I want.
Indeed.
Luckily, with the magic of editing, that's instant.
Indeed.
Are you
One thing
still
that's
in
interesting
nervous?
is if
But I
you
have
can
nothing
actually
but
look
keys.
through the
I can
windows.
only
So,
I
keep
might,
that in mind.
I might try to do that. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
You're safe, but I'm afraid nothing will change. I'll do what I can, of course. Perhaps. Now go. I pray for your safety.
So, like, one thing I considered doing this, and I might try it later. Oh, more dialogue. I'll wait until after.
Yep.
You're safe, thank goodness. But I'm afraid nothing will change. I cannot open the door. I'll do what I can, of course. Perhaps this will help you, if only in some small way. Now go. I pray for your safety.
So one thing I'm going to consider, like maybe like just getting some extra footage from NG Plus, is there's a recent speedrun discovery involving the wolf in here at the beginning of the game, and that you can get him to glitch you through the wall.
Really?
To unlock the gate that's behind the character at this point. And we could go in and then look at real Yosefka. Now, spoiler alert on real Yosefka, the one we're talking to here, does not have a unique model to the spoiler alert. Fast forward 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. Fake Yosefka that is in there. Now, one thing I did learn recently is that they both are there. Both of them are there. And so if you want, and you want to do that glitch, you can go in, and this is an easy way to get the rune off of fake Yosefka that I do use in this playthrough. Because she doesn't aggro. She doesn't make any noise. She's standing
she's
there.
not activated
She's
yet.
got a lot of health. You have to wail on her a lot. But you can technically, in quotes, kill her, and then she'll drop the rune. And then the sequence of events, they haven't, you're not supposed to be able to get back there. So the sequence of events still take place, and she replaces the Yosefka who'd be hitting on us.
Who'll be hitting on us?
Oh,
go away!
You'll
Go away!
See it. She totally hits on the hunter after a while. But
one thing
she still replaces her.
Yeah, one thing of note is you can actually hear the voice difference. They are close, but they are not the same voice.
It's very distinguishable. Like in the very first Let's Play I watched, I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers who's going to tell me that, if he watches this, he'll be like, you made this too easy on yourself, because he likes challenge runs. But when I watched his initial playthrough, he started talking to Yosefka after Gascoigne, and he was like, "That's a different woman. I'm not sending anybody here. This is sketchy AF. You didn't want people to come, and now you want them to come? This is nope. But he also sends an NPC to the proper place that he shouldn't. to. Oh, magic editing time.
You are safe, thank goodness. But I'm afraid nothing will change my mind. I'll do what I can. Perhaps this will help. This night is lost. Someone of your caliber won't fail us. I am certain. And once the night of the hunt ends, we can speak face to face. Then I can finally see what you look like. I shouldn't be thinking this, but I am rather looking forward to it. So please, be careful out there.
I don't know if the subtitles are big enough for you to see them, Dylan. But yeah, she just basically is like, I want to see you face to face, and I'm rather looking forward to it, even though I shouldn't say that.
Baka.
Baka. Yeah.
I mean, your lady is pretty sexy.
You know, not.
I mean-
I gave her more color than the character she's based off of, but yeah. So again, I want to talk about spacing. So if I'm not parrying something, I'm abusing spacing. And in Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and in Dark Souls 3 to a much greater extent, it really is beneficial to wield a shield. You technically can wield a shield in Bloodborne, but it does not carry the same benefits that that they have in the Dark Souls and Demon Souls games. In fact, they're pretty awful. So as a result, they've actually programmed the AI to behave differently. There's a guy there. Watch this. But they programmed the AI to behave differently when it comes to your spacing. So they will give you space. You don't need you know, some of them will lash out and grab you and kill you, but the AI is actually relatively stupid when it comes to that, in that you can just turn around and walk away, literally walk, or maybe jog. You know, not non-sprinting, and a lot of them will miss you.
So we have here some of the more interesting, I would argue more dangerous ones, the black coats.
Yeah, I personally
more
recommend
dangerous.
just sprinting through this this area. Like, you know, I always go up the right side, but once I take care of that guy there, and then I grab the item by the door that's being knocked on, I just sprint to the stairs and skip it. Now, in this particular Let's Play, or run through, probably rather thorough run through, I do clear these guys out. There's a gunman up top there that you have to worry about, and then a gunman below. And those two are the biggest threats. Unlike your enemy gunmen do a lot of damage. Although it is dodgeable, the projectiles are much faster than they are in the Souls games. But yeah, and don't worry, that door's not going to open. I can say, when I was reviewing this editing footage, Dylan, I was playing it at 5 times to you know, try to speed it up, and it sounds like a gun.
Oh yeah.
The door just sounds like.
Boom, boom.
You know, the pitch goes up too, so everybody's a chipmunk. It was pretty goofy. You foul beast! See, it hurts.
Yeah, more importantly, it flinches you, and you do not want to be flinched in this game.
So keep that carriage between you and that gunman.
Location, location, location.
And then you can use
Is-
pebbles to attract these guys to you. Now there's a couple of guys that are going to approach me over here on the right, and I'll take care of them. But I'm still keeping that carriage in between me and the gunman up top, because they're the biggest threat here. You figured out at this point, you know, if you're trying this and you're starting to feel comfortable with your spacing, the biggest threat is definitely gunmen. Because, you know, look at the distance I can maintain with the bow. It is kind of ridiculous. Though the axe has a very similar effect, and it just straight kills them. At this point, I decide to use a different obstacle and just attract everybody and fight them because I'm getting impatient. If you're not confident, don't do this. If you're feeling you know, if you're feeling frisky, go for it. So all that's left now is the gunman and that guy with the shield. And the guys with the shields are very passive. Their passivity has been engendered.
Indeed. They take a very long time, and they try to bash into you, but in general they are very slow, and they're basically just kind of more like problems in the midst of a crowd. Of if you're fighting all of them at once, which sometimes I do myself, it is very much a like it's pretty nasty when all of a sudden you are fighting all of them at once, and then you bounce off one of their shields, and you're like, ah, shit. Especially when another guy, like one of the black coats, will just come in and just be like, whoosh, right into you.
FromSoft really tries to direct you to go to the right, and you certainly can. That's a fine way to go. However, I'm gonna point out something here. This is the safer path. I'm gonna go ahead. You don't even have to do what I'm doing here. You can just run by and go to the destination I'm heading to. But I recommend going here and dealing with the dogs. Now, dogs will flinch like crazy. Like, they'll go for miles when you shoot them.
Yep.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, shoot one of the dogs and take care of the one that doesn't go flying. These dogs can come out of their cage, so take care of them quickly.
Yep, take care of them quickly. They can overwhelm you. Again, blood tinge damage. There's another weapon that is a melee weapon that will send them flying as well. So, because that's just programmed in with blood tinge damage. They didn't think about that. Exploits.
I did not know that, actually.
Oh yes, yeah. If you get that specific weapon, just one shot will, one swipe will send them flying.
So I definitely recommend going this way. And in a couple seconds, or well, a couple seconds is tenuous.
Bait,
in about
by the way.
half a mile, you'll see it. You'll see why I recommend that.
But like I was saying, bait right there.
Yeah. That guy in the wheelchair has a hard-hitting, a comically large belled gun. In cartoons, they have the guns that like bow out like a trumpet.
An old me blunderbuss, as some people would say.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the blunderbuss might be the technical term.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's our lanterns. So now, if you do happen to mess up, here's your shortcut. And I do mess up, so we will be using it.
Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yharnamites don't normally, they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance.
So, one of the freedoms that Bloodborne gives you drastically compared to the other Souls games is fashion. Armor and clothing do have values, and they can affect a fight, but it's not drastic.
Yeah.
Definitely not to the level that like wearing fully kitted out stone armor in Dark Souls 1 benefits you.
Yeah.
But
the name of the game is positioning, location, and dodging. Like.
Do you know of any safe places?
But and you shouldn't underestimate the benefit that armor can give you in a fight you're struggling in. Oh, more dialogue.
I've heard I have. Shutting up indoors isn't always enough. Well, if you once had got off your arse, you wouldn't be in this mess. You're obligated to help me, you hear?
So what'll it be? Are you going to tell me or not?
We can only say no because we don't know of any safe places yet.
Yep.
This lady is kind of an old bat. She eventually kind of warms up to you, but it's more after she's delirious. She's kind of rude, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I like saving her anyway because, you know, she's not trying to kill me.
Yeah. And you know, in a town filled with people that really just want to kill you, that does mean a lot.
So, but like I was saying, don't be afraid to use armor to give you an advantage. But if you really don't like the way it looks or really love the way something looks, just wear what you think looks good. There's no really major loss or benefit to wearing whatever you want, and there's no equip burden in this game.
Yeah.
Our
And we get to
first
see-
one of these guys.
Yeah, our first like a lot more transformed fella.
Yeah, so something's clearly wrong in town. We
Also-
give him blood, and it's our probably going to be a werewolves.
Also, one thing of note, that if any of you seen the promotional material for this game, and never noticed it, and why you can just be standing openly and some enemies will just not aggro to you immediately. Well, one reason is obviously the computer, but the other reason is lore. Also, cut down these bodies. Always cut down these bodies, especially that one.
Pay attention to the way I'm going about it. Positioning is
Yeah.
important. Now, if you stand straight and you're using the axe, you can definitely just stand straight on and then use the axe to cut it down. If you're not standing straight on with the axe, then you will potentially fall off, especially if you're using full charge.
Oh yeah.
But
That's a long
we've
fall.
just given ourselves the weapon I'm going to be using now. Something you might not know, Dylan. We're visiting an NPC here, and after we talk to her, there's some implications with those bodies, actually.
Right. She does have a nice outfit.
I think I saw some goofy tearing that I was looking at.
Ah.
A hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter. Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts. No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
Quit that gesture. So those two
Yeah.
bodies in there. If you aggro her now, if you want to use her weapons, you can aggro her now, and she'll drop the badge that allows you to buy
Her blades.
her blades. I'm gonna swap to the emote she just gave me and show off a little bit of the physics. But
Yeah.
but she has some interesting dialogue that actually is really tied to those two people you just knocked down and are looting. She will say, "I'll string you up just like I did them."
Huh. I never noticed that.
Yeah. So I mean, it might not be, but the community at large is kind of under the impression that she's referring to them. So here I'm trying to minimize how much fall damage I take, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's kind of what you have to do.
I'm trying to. It doesn't really matter. In the long run, it's not a great amount, but I'm trying to land on the stairs there, and I just miss.
It happens.
No biggie.
It happens.
So, luckily,
Spacing.
guards face the wrong way.
Yep. Also, spacing. Very important with these guys. Trust me.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely get a preview of why.
Yeah.
No reason.
Yeah. Preview of things to come.
Again, look at the long arm.
Yep.
I don't-
Something's up with this town.
It's probably just they didn't think about it, but I wonder why it's the left arm. No.
It might be that given the bandages, it might be that that's where the administration took place.
Yeah, no, that makes sense,
Yeah.
actually. That could make sense,
Yeah.
because you usually typically get, like, a vaccine or, draw blood from your weaker hand.
Yep. So in that very same vein, it's probably that the mutation starts where the blood was first introduced. And when I say the blood, I say with a capital T B, ladies and gentlemen.
And once again, parryfish.
Always.
It's
Always.
just, it's such a powerful tool.
And your
you may not
tools
be
are
good
there.
at it at first, and that's okay. You might run out of bullets, and that's okay too. You can buy them; they're relatively cheap at this point in the game.
Yeah.
I know you want to spend your souls on on levels and everything, but just try to get good. And if you think something can be parried, it probably can. If you think something can't be parried, it maybe can.
Yeah. You can parry a lot in this game. Like, yeah. The range with these guys, specifically these Wolfman-esque guys, is with the ones with the spikes have a lot of range. The ones with the sides do too, but the ones with the spikes, they always get me the worst.
I do
always
recommend
do.
going out and killing them before collecting the loot that we dropped down.
Yes.
Because they will see you when you climb a ladder to get back up, and they will shoot you.
They will gank the hell out of you, and it
at-
won't be
and
fun.
At this point in the game, that's a lot of damage
Oh yeah.
that you're taking.
Plus, you're not like one thing that I really learned very quickly is that your starting equipment, like as in your starting outfit, does not have much defense at all. It does not. So it is a good idea to go this way before going any other direction for a very good reason. You will see that soon.
Well,
First, killing
no,
giant rats.
we don't get to see it soon, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Um,
I have not seen this before, so spoilers, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what's about to happen in most of these parts. So.
Well, we actually got a little while too before I go that way. But we do get my
Kill Fifel,
we
kill
do
him.
get the main weapon I'm going to be using for the Let's Play, the Saw Spear, relatively soon, which I'll be switching to. Highly recommend it. And I'll get into detail about why I like it so much. It's not the weapon I used in my first playthrough. I tend to favor big freaking swords. And oh, I just popped an insight there. That's actually important. What that does is it puts a 1 next to my eyeball there, which means I have some inside knowledge.
Yes.
And it allows me to see things that I couldn't see before. And specifically, if you're wondering, how the heck do I level up? You need 1 point of insight at least to awaken the doll to have her help you level up.
Indeed. Now we gotta kill Fifel's grandpa. I'm just torturing the people that enjoyed American Tail, which I am among those people. And who never said I wasn't an evangelical masochist?
The rats have a lot of forward motion.
Yeah.
Dodging to either side usually works well. I just happen to favor dodging to my right with them. But either way's fine. And you can also outspace them and hit them in the head. That also works very well. And here I'm switching, and I'm not putting the whip back on for a long time. Well, that might not be true. I might show off the jumping attack of the whip in a video. But
now we've got...
I'm not going to actually put it in my bar for very much more at all.
Yeah.
So
I love the Saw Spear, personally.
I abuse the heck out of the R1, L1 ability, and we haven't really talked about what the L1 ability specifically is. Pressing L1 on your weapon will cause your weapon to transform into a different state. Now in the case of the Saw Spear, Saw Cleaver, Beast Hunter Scythe, and the Cane, that'll just change it into a more range option. In the case of other weapons, such as the axe, which is the
Crows.
It turns it into a two-handed weapon. I just wanted to illustrate that you could go around the front like that, even though it doesn't look like
Yeah,
you're supposed
I
to.
noticed that. I
Yeah.
was like, you...
Yeah, you can do that. You're not supposed to. It's not intended. But
Yeah.
it's kind of. I just wanted to show you can if you want.
And there's these bastards.
But specifically, what I'm trying to get at here is, gosh, I don't know. But oh yeah, back to the axe and other weapons, putting them in the transformed state. And there might be another one I might not be thinking of, maybe the Rider Plosh. But outside of those, makes them a two-handed form, so you can't shoot your gun or parry at this point. Now the
Rider Palosh is always one-handed. Sorry.
Yeah. The second weapon I use is the Ludwig's Holy Blade. That's my backup weapon, and I specifically use it in areas where it's more effective. I kind of just use a very specific attack with it, and I end up not using it too much. Here I'm illustrating the move set of the Saw Spear a little bit with the R2 and how you can just reach quite a bit. That's just why I like the Saw Spear more than the Saw Cleaver.
Range.
In damage, the Saw Cleaver technically does more damage, but it's not by much. We're talking like, you know, like in thousands, we're talking like 5 damage.
Yeah.
Watch, someone's going to be like, well, actually, the math says it's this, but...
Adjusts glasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, like, I just prefer it. I prefer the length and reach of it, and I do prefer the transformed moveset overall, because most things are weak to thrust in this game.
Yes. Yes.
While I don't use thrust a lot, it is nice to have that as an option in my main weapon, whereas the Saw Cleaver does not have that.
As someone who used the rifle spear, I use that weakness a lot.
I actually swap characters and illustrate the moveset with the rifle spear. Now, the rifle spear is unique in that it does become a two-handed weapon, and I'll show it off. But you can still parry with it in its two-handed state because it is a rifle and a spear. It's more of a shotgun and a spear, but
yeah, it's most guns that are that are larger than a pistol are a shotgun, sadly, in this game. So. Yeah.
I don't know your voice, but I know that I'm a hunter, and I just really look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him, but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared. Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box. It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it.
No, if
Wait, can you find my mummy?
Yeah, poor
For
girl.
those of you Doctor Who fans out there.
Yeah, I feel so bad for that girl. I never complete the quest line. I don't.
Oh.
I would rather her just wonder where her mom is than what actually happens.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that
our viewers are paying
before
attention,
we go,
we should recognize where we are.
oh yeah.
This is where we dropped down. Now we're going to go the way From Software originally wanted us to go at this point. I'm going to knock on the door again, but I think we've already listened to their dialogue. It doesn't change. But you had something you wanted to say, Dylan?
One thing that I wanted to notice just for lore-wise, there are a couple things that I wanted to point out. The first one is that the first lore that I want to point out is all these large animals. The reason why they're enlarged, some of you might wonder, is because they are eating on the corpses. Because the corpses have what is called the blood in them.
I didn't know that was why the crows were big.
As well as the dogs are so weird and why the mice are so big. There's also this asshole.
Don't ignore him.
Yeah, don't.
I promise, don't do it. If you try to ignore him and go past, he will come up and attack you. When you least expect it. He'll come from behind and just smash you in the head. All you need is one good parry and then 2 slashes and he's dead. The torch I'm going to grab because it's dark. And eventually I do turn up the brightness. I do apologize the first few episodes. I'm actually playing with minimum brightness because on my actual TV that I normally play on, that's the correct brightness for this game. but in the recording it was not, and on the monitor I was playing on it was not, so I was having trouble seeing. Excuse me.
Ah, the woes of recording.
Yeah.
And
the woes of
recording gameplay footage especially.
Hmm.
Oh, dog.
I'm gonna fight this dog with least favorite enemies.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, go ahead.
For this
Go ahead.
section? Okay. Well, one thing that people might find funny is that they're like, well, why don't they just always attack me? Like when I'm clearly visible and such. That's because, one, there's a computer behind them and they have a certain AI detection range. But two, there is also a reason for them to be so limited in game. The reason is, if you notice everyone's face, they usually have some form of bandage over their eyes. And the reason that is because if you see the promotional material, when he put at the very end of the footage that we've already gotten through, where the hunter cuts up the crowd that is walking through the street, you notice that their eyes are all fucked up and they swirl sideways, like around and around in their head. That is actually a sign that their eyes are deteriorating and they cannot see. And that is clearly a mark of the transformation of becoming a beast. You become more and more based around sound and smell rather than sight. Which, ironically enough, for a lot of creatures such as bears and other animals, that is a common thing. They do not have good sight. They have very good other senses.
See, I just learned something. I was under the impression that they did it because they didn't want to see the sun hurt their eyes.
No, in fact, it is because the blood, capital TB, trademark, all rights reserved by Hideaki Miyazaki, changes them fundamentally. And it's legitimately kind of creepy, because humanity is based around our eyesight, versus a lot of other animals are not.
Well, it's time to go for some fashion, and I
Indeed. Ooh. Yeah, that was legitimately close. I was like, oh, okay, we're good. Granted, you also look like you look like a fucking axe murderer right now, so it is impressive.
To be fair, I am.
This is also true.
And here I'm suddenly having trouble being a fish.
Nice.
See, that's that spacing I was talking about.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. He's already dead, but still, you got it. And
they drop
bloodstones.
No, they drop the bloodstone shards, which is important. So if you want to go into the fight as strong as you can can fight these guys, this enemy type, and the maximum you want. And I think there's a total of 8 towns, so you can get to +2 pretty easily. But you want to have 16 total, including the 8th town. And you can get your weapon to +3 before fighting Gascoigne and before fighting Cleric Beast. So if you're struggling on those 2 bosses, you can, farm some souls to get stronger. I'm sorry, echoes to get stronger, and you can farm some, of the bloodstone shards to make your weapon stronger. I do recommend, if you're going to be farming a little bit, also invest in blood vials and in bullets, because they, unfortunately, and this is one of my least favorite things about this game, I consider it a large failing, is they are finite.
Yes, they are.
Unlike
it's going back to Demon Souls and the grass.
Yeah. Like
green grass.
Like Dark Souls definitely does it right. Like I really wish, like if there is a Bloodborne 2, they make it so like you get a gift from the messengers. They refill your bullets and
like a blood, like maybe not the bullets, but at least
maybe
like
up to a specific point. Like
yeah,
you get 10 bullets and 10 heals, and then you can get it up to 20 from the environment or from your bank or something. I don't know. But there needs to be a minimum threshold, because it is kind of frustrating. These guys drop knives, which are pretty handy. And renewable. We'll be able to buy them relatively soon.
There goes Fiefel's mom. Can you tell I don't like vermin animals? I usually don't.
You usually play them, though, in your tabletop games.
I mean, that is true, but that's because, like, it's because of the stigma that comes with them. I enjoy it. I mean, and for those of you who are watching, I enjoy playing a rat folk specifically because I like the idea of like someone who is a person, but like the cut carries the stigma of being a giant rat, especially in a
Get
D&D
used
sense.
to this transform attack. You're gonna see it a lot. It is like, I don't know, like something about the scythe and then the spear and the cleaver. Their transform attack, I think, might be the only useful ones in the game. That might be a harsh way to say it, but I just don't find like, and I could be wrong. So, there's probably other uses, but I just don't think that the transform attacks from the other weapons are usable. They're not quick enough.
I know that you can definitely use the transform attack for the Kirk hammer. It's pretty nice. We'll see that. We'll see at least the Kirk hammer at some point. But
the fashion's right there.
Yeah. See, and that guy. See, like I said before.
I'm willing to show the run back,
ones.
and then there's going to be a cut just to warn everybody. I'm going to show the run back to get there, so you know where it is.
But first.
First, we get our beckoning bell. So at this point, and I really wish I would have shown this off, you can summon Gascoigne to help with the cleric beasts.
Yes, you can.
And if you lose your echoes, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can, get more echoes. They're a renewable source.
They are.
Kill things, get echoes.
One thing that's always important. Two things that I always try to give people if they ask me, like, why can I play the Souls games? And they're so difficult. It's one, if you're not doing enough, if you don't feel you're not doing enough damage, level up and buff up your health and buff up your attack stat. Two, if you feel like how should I put this? If you feel like you lost a lot of like your XP currency, yes, but at the same time, no, because you can get it back. You can always get it back.
And then probably in the next area, it's going to be chump change.
Exactly.
And the game is balanced around the idea that you are going to lose your echoes or souls.
Just accept that they are it is like dollar bills. You are not going to have them forever. That's just a thing.
I show off how to fight the werewolves here. Any ranged weapon will do. The axe is really good for it, and the whip. This is one of the uses of the whip, and I think this might be the last time I use the whip for quite a while. But I want to get their attention, and they can't fit through the door.
I love this one. Oh god, I love this one. I remember using the rifle spear, and grinding these guys, and actually charging into them.
I don't get to show it off here, but I think these guys also drop the blood shard.
Yeah, they do drop shards, if I remember correctly.
But they also drop a ton of vials. So, like you said, if you're farming your souls in vials, these are definitely some good guys to kill, and this is a very safe way to do it. One-on-one, you really don't need to do this anymore. You can just run up and punch them in the face. But I just wanted to illustrate what I used to do. And unfortunately, the first wolf there just fell through the earth.
Yeah. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. It's actually quite common when doing this cheese.
Yeah. One thing that I can also caution people on is they typically get caught here. They typically get caught here, so it's not a big concern. But sometimes if most of their body is through the doorway, like during their lunge bite attack, and you hit them, I have had it glitch onto me where they come into the actual house. So, yeah, that is a moment when you should not panic, but you should leave the upper floors and wait for them to de-aggro.
Well, if it's only one of them, too, we've kind of established. One-on-one, these guys are actually chumps.
Yeah, they are. They hit hard, but they're
scary.
Very easy. Yeah.
All right, there's going to be a cut real soon here. I just wanted to show how to get there.
Whoop! Ching! Nice. Nice.
Get my echoes back. This is getting long, so I was cutting where I could.
Yeah. Don't blame you. And there's these assholes, like I said before.
So now here's the phenomenon where they pick up your echoes when you die.
Yeah.
Look how far away I can be, and he still swings.
Yep. As well as like that range, you could clearly see that his spike that he had was like basically moved like almost 5 feet over to the wall and still scraped over it. So yeah.
And now actual good reasonable fashion.
Yeah. The OG Hunter outfit, which I really like. The Hunter outfit is really dope. I love that. Like, I think they call that a. I can't remember exactly what the type is. The universe will probably correct us in the comments, but
If
that
there's
is a style.
You assume I'm that famous.
Someone will. I guarantee you. The trolls are out there. They'll troll the forums.
Oh, if I get trolled, I'll be very happy. It'll be the most activity I've had in a video ever.
Fair enough. But
that's not true. I do have one video that's very popular, but
kill the corpses. Kill them because they're not fully dead. And
these guys
hey, if you
might be the most dangerous enemy in the first area.
Yeah, because they're
so slow.
But they're also unpredictable with their range.
Yeah,
they're predictable in that they have very long arms.
They try to be very predictable, and then they just surprise you.
Yeah.
And in this clump, there's a lot of them. You don't really need to fight them at all. You can just run past them. But
yeah,
I wanted to just to show that you can. And you know, I am actually planning on if you follow along in this playthrough and you do things in the order I do them, your character will be very strong. Very, very strong, very early. The 2 toughest fights you might face for a lot of the game will probably be your 2 first boss fights, which in many games, the first time you fight a boss, it's going to be tough because you're learning the game. And this is especially true in a Souls game, or in Bloodborne. They want you to have a certain set of skills to get through the game, and you know, if you can beat this boss, you definitely have those. Or you've selected the axe and just spend to win the whole time. But that's besides the point. This is where we came from earlier, where we got the saw spear, and went up and talked to the girl with the music box.
Indeed. Now we go.
Well, now we fight some crows.
Let's fight crows.
We've just about completed what I would say the first level in terms of scanning it and looking for it. What we have here is I guess it was sewer way. So if you fight the cleric beast before coming this way, I forget the man's name. The nice man, the first nice person you talk to.
Oh, the sick man?
Yeah, the sick man.
Indeed.
Like he mentions like if you fight cleric beasts and you can tell him that the way is closed off because you can't proceed after fighting the cleric beast. He'll mention this path and as an alternate route potentially to get to the church where you're supposed to progress the story. There's our important bloodstone shard, and this is that path.
Yes, indeed.
At the end of the path, for whatever reason, most YouTubers do it this way, and I don't know why. It drives me insane every time. There is a pig. And, very profitable.
You mean what some people like to? You mean what people like to call epic name bro? Not actually epic name bro.
Because his mascot was a pig.
Yeah, way back.
Actually, like I kind of got inspired to do videos like these because of this channel and Spy, and I wanted to do something in the like, although slightly different commentary with you being that something different.
Indeed, I am filled with knowledge and madness.
But what most
much
YouTubers,
like this game.
and the 2 of them included, do, I might have to rewatch German Spies to see this, is they run down that hallway and get behind the pig, and that is totally doable. You can do that, but I just think it's the wrong choice. There's a much easier way to go about that. It's just tactically not as sound, because there's 2 fun tricks you can do just by going up this ladder. One, you can unlock the shortcut to get here from the central Yharnam lantern.
Indeed.
And then 2, if you run along this bridge to the alcove here and then hide in the statues, all these guys will run by you. And there's a giant boulder. Like classic Indiana Jones trap. Doesn't really make sense. You probably wouldn't actually see this in a town.
Oh hell no.
Set it on fire, and you can just do that goofy thing, and I like doing it that way.
One guy. And yet again, because he doesn't see very well, probably just noticed the fire roll by, but didn't notice his buddies are dead. Just like, there's someone at the end of the bridge! Runs to the end of the bridge. Where did he go? Guy stands right beside him. And then we face the brick troll.
Yeah. Now,
and his
one thing
shieldy
you can
friend.
do if you want to make the brick troll easier is you can sprint past those guys and then ruin the trap somewhat, and the brick troll will catch fire and lose most of his HP to the point where it's basically here, and one or two spikes to kill him. Those guys are chump change as soon as you move the shield out of the way. I wish the shield actually worked that well for me when I used it, if I felt like using it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wish it worked that well for them too. And there's these assholes right here.
It would be nice if you could backstab the one on the left. You might be able to, but I just don't think it's worth the risk. Because
No,
facing two of them is tough.
It is very tough. It is a very tough fight. It is a...
Oddly enough, the naked ones are tougher than the...
Yeah. Yeah. I like
so
to
now
think it's
I've
more
ended up with 9. There's 8 on the ground that you can pick up. But like I said, you can farm up to 16. Well, you can farm more than that, but 16 is the important bit. At this point, I'm just going to wave. I'm going to say hi. We're not going to contact him today. We'll do that in its own independent video.
Yeah, because
there's a fellow hunter
Gascoigne's
out there.
scary.
Yes.
He's a scurry man. He's a big scurry man.
I haven't lost to Gascoigne in many playthroughs in a very long time.
Yeah.
But the first time I fought Gascoigne, it was super tough.
It's horrifying.
I ended up
It's
teasing
intended to be
it's
fucking
still
horrifying.
Like, I mean, I'm not going to say I have an easy time fighting him. It's definitely tough. Like I said, I have not lost to him in a long time, but I definitely haven't flawlessly fought him ever. Like, there are times where it's like, if he gets one more hit on me, I'm gonna die. And that's pretty frequent.
Yep.
When I play him, and I've played this game a lot.
Yeah.
You can get
Gascoigne
2 in a row, this guy. So like I said, going behind the pig, you don't even have to worry about him charging you. If you go through the front, he'll get excited, and if you don't get there in time, he'll run you over, and that is a one-shot.
Yes.
So go behind him. So much easier.
Why is there a pig in the sewer? Don't worry about it.
You know, where else they're going to keep him in a city?
I guess. It's just... Yeah. Like, I understand where the other ones are, but this one... Well, I take that back, no. I can understand where one batch of them are. The rest of them, I don't know. Yeah, the rest of them, I'm like, that's a little weird.
Yeah, like the other placements actually make more relative sense. You know, they're potentially wild.
Yeah.
Maybe that one just got in the city and happened to be in the sewers. I guess the sewers could connect more than the video game actually shows.
Shrug, maybe.
Who knows? There's a pig there. And he
big,
gives,
it's big,
he gives
it's
a lot
scary.
of gives a lot of echoes, and I think he always drops blood vials. So that is a place you can farm your blood vials back up if you happen to get low, and you're not feeling very confident. You can just run past these guys. You don't actually have to fight them. There's some stairway to the left. It'll take us right into the room that you're familiar with to get to the shortcut. You just do want to show how to handle them multiplicatively, though. You want to get them slightly one at a time, and then you're able to basically put them on death's door if you can get the double parry. And these guys also drop blood vials and shining coins.
Yeah.
Not
One
that
of the...
I've never really used a shining coin.
There's really not much reason for them.
It just makes me think of patches.
Yeah.
I mean,
they basically serve
in the forest, which will be later. I could see them being useful because, gosh, the forest is insane.
Yeah.
So at this point, you'll level up to the best of your ability, level up your weapon all the way. I am learning in the video right now that I cannot buy the Hunter Chief emblem, which I want to buy.
Indeed.
I do actually recommend, if you're a new player, buy the Hunter Chief emblem, especially if you're struggling on Bloodstarved Beast. If you can't beat him and you're just getting angry at the game, just walk away from it. Go get the Hunter Chief emblem. It's at that point 10k is easy to get.
Yeah.
And just buy it and then get stronger.
Get strong.
A lot of my advice to new players to learn the fights is to invest in HP, which is not really what I like to do. But investing in HP allows you to see their moves more, so you can react to them and get a feel. You can also watch videos that point out where to dodge from a boss and things like that.
Yep.
But and now the way I actually play these games is I invest in damage because things can't kill me if they're dead.
It's true. This is very true.
That is my personal play style. And I don't necessarily think it's noob friendly because you have trouble learning the boss, and you also don't get to learn the boss if it's dead.
Yeah. Unless you truly do enjoy like a challenge, like the deaths only fuel you until you rage.
Well, I mean, glass cannon is still a cannon. If you want a challenge, don't level up, I guess.
Yeah, I am scared of those people.
Oh, we're talking over Garrett.
Too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. It's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it. This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you.
Well, that has been our first video. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I do plan on fully uploading the whole thing. We'll see if this actually happens. This will be the first time I've completed a actual game, and I've successfully completed the whole game. But if I do upload the whole playthrough, it'll be the first time I've successfully uploaded a full Let's Play. Wish me luck, everyone, and I will see you next time. I'll just let the game play out its audio for the rest of it.
Yep.
And I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit. Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Well, I guess not. So this is where I was trying to illustrate the top for stats. That goodbye sounds goofy now. Oh well. But I'm telling you, these are the 4 stats I'm going to be investing in for the playthrough. So don't invest in the other 2 if you want to follow along. But feel free to do whatever you want. Anyway, now I think as soon as I emote, this will be goodbye.
Your worth in the waking world.
Y'all take care.